Here we are. Hello and welcome. I'm Jane Mountrose, your host, and this is the Circle of Love and Light. I'm here today with both of my wonderful co-hosts, Gretchen Comer and Loola Mora. We're all holistic coaches and healers and spiritual aspirants, I would say, light workers. We're all of those things. So it's wonderful to be here. Our week this time, we're focusing on stepping up as creators. And in recent weeks, I've been thinking a lot about with these turbulent times and in the United States with the election coming up and people getting their gloves out and fighting each other, how important it is for us to be in a place that is going to help to uplift ourselves and humanity. And this is, I think, our foundation is stepping up as creators. So with all the turmoil, I think that the greatest contribution we can make is rising up above it. We talked last week, Gretchen and I were here, we talked about how people are generally in polarity, and what we want to do is be out of that duality and into that place of oneness. And that's really standing in our truth in that place. When we're down in polarity, we can't stand in our truth. And it's not our most resourceful place. So we'll be talking about that. Anyhow, with that in mind, we want to focus on providing some insights and support for stepping up as a creator, and also provide a meditation that is going to help us to clear the path for that to be possible in the highest possible way for each of us. Before we begin, I want to, as always, thank you for joining us and inviting you to please say hello if you're here, which reminds me I lost my chat. There, I see Sharon Williamson is here. So hi, Sharon. It's wonderful to see you. And if you have any comments or questions, we really appreciate it. And we're all here together, those of us who you can see and those who we can't see, and also those who aren't here with us live. It is through our intention that we become one as a circle. And with that, we're creating a powerful force, a more powerful force than any of us have individually. So with that, I want to take, as usual, just a brief moment to center ourselves, to kind of bring our energy back into this space. I see Babs is here too. Happy to be with you. Hi, Babs. So again, just if you can close your eyes, if you're in a safe place for that, just breathing, focusing on bringing your energy into your body and breathing in the love and light that is always here for us from the universe. And having that intention of being present together for this time. That feels good. It always feels so good just to take a moment and breathe. It's interesting. So with that, I'd like to turn to you, Loola, and ask you to share a bit about why stepping up as a creator feels important to you.
Wow, oh, look at me. First of all, I want to say hi to anyone that is here with us, and thank you, Jane. Wow, that's an amazing topic, because I'm here too, and I'm part of the transition, and I'm here experiencing a lot of things as many of you, and the times are getting to find that word that is like appropriate. I think it's like times are getting challenging, because there's a lot of light, but at the same time, darkness, and it's a lot of movement. So it's easier to feel like to get disconnected and to feel disappointed or like without your power or like sad and lost, because there's a lot happening. And the traditional way we were taught to handle things were like finding the support outside ourselves, it's like, is the president, is the religion, is the priest, is my friend, is my mom. Those are the people that are like are the generators of my reality. You know, we were taught
Right.
that everything was outside and that we needed to follow some kind of rules to be okay, you know, and for things to work. So right now, more than ever, you know, the power is on us and has been all the time that way. But right now is where we need to really believe in that, you
Right.
know, is more than in any moment in the life of like the life here on earth, you know, is like, because it's not wrong the past methods or like systems, but they don't work anymore. So being right now in that place where you are really connected and you really believe in your power of being a creator, because it's your truth, it's part of your programming, you know, that has been there, is
Right.
really important, because in that moment of change and transition, a lot of energy is moving. So it's easy to get like in a low vibration and to get in that collective like melancholy or disappointment or that like movement, because that's the resistance, you know, that's the thing that is working to make us be more in the light. So we need that part too, but it's easy to get there and to feel that you don't have
Right.
any
It's easy
power.
to just go with it.
Exactly. So right now it's really important that all of us believe in that, and actually is not like only wanting to be the superhero and help anyone, is doing your part, because that's the way that lighting your light, you know, being in that state of like vibration that you are so centered and so okay and so like in that love place and high vibration that you can create, you know, easily, and really to create the things that you really want, because sometimes we are creating things from our wounds and from those
Right.
places that are not in a higher vibration. So
Right.
we're creators of everything. So more than never in like ever, we need to step up, you know, and
Right.
create
Right.
our reality, so we can create that reality that is in like for all of us. We are the change, you know, we
Right.
are the creators for this new uh, world, for this
Right.
new
New world.
yeah, for this new world where a lot of things are possible. You know, I think if I can imagine things, they are possible, you know?
Right.
So I
Right.
believe in fairies, I believe in mermaids, I believe in dragons, because I know, because I feel it. I feel it more than I know it. I feel that those are part of my memories, you know,
Right.
of
Yeah.
all their
Yeah.
time.
That's beautiful.
So
And
I
it's
want to
so
invite
important,
people
you
to
know.
really tap to those places where magic is possible for you know, for each of us. That could be different because we come from different places.
Right. Right.
So you resonate with different things than I do, but that doesn't mean that is wrong. So
Right.
it's like, it's really important for me to step up in that power of being the creator of my reality and the reality for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think our uniqueness is so important because we do come from, as you suggested, we if we're light workers, we came from the stars, and that's another it's a whole nother
Beautiful.
topic, but we have vastly different origins and ways of perceiving things that we have to consider. But stepping up creators is about fully embracing who we are as unique, unique aspects of the divine.
And you know, the intention of being here, I'm already like feeling, because it's a moment to feel, you know, more than to think. That's in my experience what I have been like understanding, you know.
Right.
Like
Connecting, really connecting from the heart. Because we're accustomed,
exactly.
we're taught in 3D, it's like you go with your thoughts, and higher thinking is one thing. Just
Agree.
the kind of actually more automatic thinking that people interpret as being thinking is something else, where it's really just a bunch of, well, you said, like you said, programs.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What do you think,
Absolutely.
Gretchen?
Yeah, I'm actually I'm sitting here kind of amused because Lula and I often align so much, and some of the things that she said are actually some of the notes that I'd written down. I wanted to
Right.
when I was thinking about this topic today. Yeah, for me, it feels like it's it's really important to me because it impacts all areas of my life, and for me, it's about choice. It's about because every day I'm choosing, I'm making choices, and so some of those choices are conscious, some are unconscious. And when I'm not aligned with my heart and my soul, I'm making more unconscious choices. And
Right.
but if I can bring my awareness to that, if I can bring awareness to the unconscious choices that I'm making, then I'm more likely to not be disconnected from my guides, from my heart and soul, from source, from the universe. And as I'm making choices every day, I need to pause and reflect and realize that the unconscious choices are where maybe I need to pay more attention to what's going on with me. Maybe I need to bring more awareness and attention to why I'm making those unconscious choices. And of course, I'm always striving to make conscious choices. That's what I want to have, is the ability to do that. And I feel like the more I do that, the more I'm connected. And so I was chuckling to myself because what Lula said about programming, when I can see how I'm making the unconscious choices, I'm actually uncovering the programming. I'm uncovering the polarities. I'm uncovering the illusions that are essentially limitations that I've imposed myself. Those were choices, that I made. And so for me, it's about stepping up as a creator. For me, is about being aware of my choices that I'm making every day, that I'm choosing to make every day.
Yeah, having them come from your own point of power rather than from something that's been dictated to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's interesting. I recently I've been, I can't remember how this came up in my head, but just recognizing, oh, I know what it was. The angels and the beings of light I work with have suggested to me, and starting with Archangel Metatron a while back, saying that it's time for me to access my full range of resources, that it's very, very actually important. Like Lula was saying, it's important now. It's always been important, but somehow, we were able to get by with a certain degree of awareness. And now it actually is at the point where we need to access all of our resources because we're at a time of the Great Awakening or the birth of the new earth, however you want to look at it, age of Aquarius. And what I started thinking about is how we all have three families. And I think both of you suggested in what you were saying, listening to our physical family, which you could extend to say all of those kind of physical influences, which could be a church, whatever it is, kind of that are sitting there in the mass consciousness and really wanting to hold us down because they don't understand where we are, where we're going, which isn't to say there's something wrong with them. They just haven't woken up yet. I guess that's the one easy way to say it. So there's the physical family. And then as we wake up, we have an opportunity to recognize and create a family of light around us. You could say our spiritual family. So for me, Lula and Gretchen are part of my spiritual family. We're here together. We love each other. We obviously are coming from similar places of understanding. And from that, we can help to keep our spirits up. We can help to lift our vibration to a higher level and to hold that as our, you could say, default. Because if we're sitting there in fear, our default is down there, and our potential for creating is down there, which is really not much, because that's more the place of being a victim. But we have the spiritual family, and then we also have the family of light, which is all of those. I think there are so many magnificent beings of light, I think, surrounding all of us that we're unaware of. And that is one of the most magical parts of all of this, is that they're here waiting to help us. They are helping us. They can help us to a degree, our guardian angels, and they're all kind of trying to keep us on course. But I think accessing your full range of resources also includes enlisting the additional power, which is so incredible, that is available to us from the higher realms.
Absolutely. You know, actually, I was listening to you, Jane, and there's a lot of information like appearing to me, you know, is that we are not anymore like telling ourselves, like we already understood that we are energetical beings. So we're talking about vibration, you know? So I think it's important to understand that reading that we are invited to do, you know, is like we're talking about the families, you know. So if you don't vibrate with that energy, that's a sign, you know. What I'm saying here is that in 3D, you know, we are so like used to have the same like responses through our thoughts, you know, in that like a traditional way of doing things. But right now we are like more from the heart and for that feeling, you know, being smart. I remember saying that to Gretchen, and is that in my personal like experience, being smart is not working, is not enough, you know, is not what I'm needing to move forward and to find my to follow my journey or my path, you know. So what I'm saying about the vibration is that maybe many of the persons that are right now with like with us here, or like are watching it, the circle later, ask themselves like, but that sounds like nice, but how can I really tap into that if I don't have enough information? I'm inviting them to see the things from that place of vibrations, is energy, you know, and that actually is how we are, because we have that first family, we have the second family, that is the spiritual family, and the one of the light. So when we are vibrating, we are so like in that place of receiving and openness, we can perceive that support of our families, you know.
Right.
And that's been, as I mentioned before, it's like seeing ourselves like a energy machine, you know, and we have different programs and codes, you know. Some programmers knows that everything in technology is with codes, you know, some codes. We have codes too, and we're being activated. So that energy and that vibration are the channels we are getting faster to those places as creators, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah,
what
I
I'm
think
telling,
oh, go ahead.
sorry, to finalize the idea. So what I'm telling here is that is easier that that we think, because if we think, we are not able to tap there easier, you know. It's like more a feeling sensation.
Right. Yeah, we have to change our way of being in the world in a lot of ways. Yeah, and it is I think the first part, or the second part, we have the physical family or we have influencers on the physical level around us, generally from the time we're born. Choosing a spiritual family and then actually engaging with a spiritual family is something that requires intention, and it is your heart sensing, well, this is my family, you know. And to me it is, well, I don't have much of a physical family now anyhow, but this is so much more important to me. having a spiritual family. And I want to acknowledge Babs said, so important to be connected with each other, the spiritual family, I think she means, and with Source, and with the family of light. And it's everything, really, to me.
Absolutely. And I love that Babs wrote that, because I think when I start talking, I was wanting to go there, but I think I was having so much information to share that
Right. There's a lot.
I got a little bit lost in the middle of the idea. But yeah, I was wanting to tap there, and is that right now, I mentioned before that about believing in fairies, and more than the fairy itself is the energy of the realm of the fairies, you know, that magic, that earth love and like protection, you know, and seeing the magic there, or other beings that are in different missions and things. But what I was wanting to say is to be connected to all that energy, so that the soul family and the light family right now is so important. And I can tell that for me was part of my awakening here, because I'm an immigrant. So that change, you know, of like place makes you see two different realities of the collectives. So sometimes for me it's difficult, because I speak with my mom that is in a completely different system,
Right.
in 3D,
Yeah.
and I need to be a little bit, no, a lot of compassionate first with myself, and to understand that she is in her own process, you know, and that I need to listen and to send love, instead of getting in a high vibration of feeling impotent, you know, because I want to invite her to vibrate different, but
Right.
it's
And
not
we
my
can't
job.
control other people,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, letting go, and understanding that I'm a vessel. That was other thing that I was wanting to express here, is like all that light family is supporting us. So if we
so
connect, we
important.
understand that we actually don't need to do too much. You know, we are being guided and moved, and but
I think we do need to make an effort to make those connections. Like I'll in the meditation we'll be doing. I have a little piece of hair on my screen here. On the meditation, I'm going to help or support us in connecting with some of the beings of light, and some are new to me, which is very exciting to me. And it's really a process of me reaching out to them, that I think they will reach out to us to a degree, but we need to reach out and ask for their support. So I think that's to me, one of the most important things right now, is to recognize, because together we can raise our vibrations up to love, but when you get up into connecting with beings who are in the higher dimensions, the 8th, 9th, 10th, even 11th dimension, it's a whole different thing, and such a blessing to us. It's a wonder we don't ask for more, but it's here. What do you think, Gretchen?
Yeah, I was just thinking, I was listening to what Lula was saying, and I was thinking about how, you know, as creators, there is a lot of magic in what we can do, because we are looking for possibilities and opportunities, and those can be very magical. You know, and that how we're creating, and it's, you know, with the support of the light beings and our guides, it's almost like all we need to ask is, all right, what do you want? What do you want to do? You know, because the magic is already there. It's already unfolding when we set our intention and we focus on what we want. And if it's aligned with our heart, then, and our heart and soul, then it's always going to be possible, and it's always going to be created. So there's a lot of magic to that, just through our intention and through our choices, and through the connection with our heart and soul.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that is something, just to take some time to make that connection every day. It strengthens I referred very briefly to the idea of set points, that we all have a vibration where we tend to gravitate to. So if we're not, when we're unconscious, Gretchen, you mentioned being unconscious. When we're unconscious, we tend to settle wherever our set point is. Well, if our set point is confusion or anxiety or fear or stress or whatever, one of those things that are really weighing us down, it's going to limit our potential. And that's why spending time focusing on the love in our hearts, connecting with the love, coming to the circle or whatever it is that inspires you to come into a higher vibrational state easily, it can change everything. I know, I just quickly as an example, I remember, well, this is pretty common for people to say, well, I went to this spiritual conference and it was so amazing. The speakers were talking about angels and all of these amazing things. And I just felt so great. But I went home and it didn't last. It really doesn't work. That's the wrong assumption. What it's showing you is that your set point is not where you want it to be, that you're gravitating back. We will gravitate back to where our set points are. And if the more we focus on love and light, connecting with each other and with all of those beautiful beings, the better it's going to be for us. There's a couple messages here. One of them I don't understand, so I can't really comment, but I would say, oh, this is Marshall from Cameroon. I was wondering what does that mean? What do you mean? That's Marshall is the person's name. So welcome. And welcome, certainly from Cameroon. It's wonderful. We love having people all over the world come and join us. And actually, Marshall says, good evening. It's morning here. That's wonderful. And Babs, she says, the circle always inspires me. And that's why we're here, actually. We're here to help all of us to rise to a higher vibrational frequency and then to send it out to the week ahead and to be in that place. To have tools to keep us there. So that's why I find it very valuable. I've been doing spiritual work for decades. We were talking about this before we started. And this supports me along with everybody else. I think anyone who's a teacher or coach or these kinds of things that we're doing, we benefit personally as much as I think the clients do and the people we're supporting.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And every time, in our work, is so beautiful that actually in the processes that we facilitate and we support people, we are healing and learning a lot too. Actually,
Right.
I have a beautiful experience on Wednesday that I worked with a client and was so magical to listen to her when she was in the middle of the process, sharing with me in the recording, because actually we were recording. So she was sharing out loud what she was experiencing. And she said, I feel like the start of the party, or I'm surrounded with beings. She was is incredible how many beings are around me, and I can explain that. So it's amazing how when we are being that helpers, we are receiving that kind of confirmations, but being at the same time in that part of intention and higher vibrations. So it's beautiful because when we see other ones tap into those places, in my opinion, for me, it's like receiving a little stone or little more light in my heart.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it really is. If it's the right
beautiful.
thing for you doing this kind of work, it is. It just feels so good. I'm just grateful every day for the opportunities I have. And I can't imagine doing anything else. I think another part of it for teaching, and I know both of you have been teaching different courses and supporting people in different ways. It requires clarity. And even if we understand something, to be able to clearly express it concisely, that takes some learning on our parts. So it's taking what you know and actually going a step further, which is, it is a gift. It's a blessing to oneself.
Exactly. So we are really grateful for those people that allow us to be there for them, you know,
Right.
is the
Yeah.
message. Because we get like, we grow and we can light more our lights and hearts. So the these activities, these gatherings, these things actually, as you mentioned, Jane and Gretchen too, are part of our process to live it ourselves. And that's the reason we do it weekly too, because it's the practice, it's the discipline. We were talking about this before getting connected
Right.
today. And yeah, I want to allow people like to tap to those things that we speak to, because it's important, you know, like to stay in that like vibration and in that state. You need
Right.
to keep working on it. It's not something that you do once per year or per month. And right now that there's a lot happening, you know, and a lot of noise and energy moving, you need to maybe do a little bit more to be connected and not in that illusion of separation, you know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And wherever we are on the planet, the vibration of the kind of the masses of humanity is pulling us down. It's not like, and it is actually the beings of light. When we have them, they'll help to lift us, and we lift each other. But it does require intention for sure, and discipline. It's kind of, oh, I just rather, do nothing today or something. Well, maybe so, or I'm just too busy. Well, what are you so busy doing that you don't have time for yourself, which is really the most important thing of all? So it actually looks like it's about time for the meditation. And this is generally, it's an opportunity to connect with those beings of light, which we're going to do today, as we often do. And I selected some specific ones that I think would be really helpful for us in stepping up as creators. I wanted to mention before we start that I connected with a being, one who I've been familiar with, but haven't actually connected with personally before, which is Babaji. And I have been actually using this I got a new Oracle deck called the Keepers of the Light, which the cards are all masters or different beings of light, angels, just different ones. And so a few days ago, I got this card, which I thought was really beautiful. Babaji, Soul Expansion. And he's there surrounded by the stars. Beautiful, beautiful, clear sky, clear night sky with stars. So beautiful. And that was the energy I thought we'll start with, is Babaji and that beautiful star-filled light. I did want to say a few things about Babaji, because I think Babaji is someone who can help to oversee our process, the process that we're going through. The card, it says, your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connections between all things. It also says in the book that goes with this, it's about receiving revelations that will make everything clear. Becoming more and more consciously aware of how you are connected to God and all living things, here to inspire the divine sense of connectedness within you. And I would say raising that vibrational set point to a place of oneness and bliss. That's another really wonderful benefit of rising to those higher places, is that sense of bliss that comes with it. It said, many believe that Babaji is like Christ himself, bringing deep love, acceptance, forgiveness, insight, and direction. So he's a very high vibrational being. He has been said to have been actually alive, you could say. He seems to kind of appear here and there, and this is, as it mentioned, for it's been happening for hundreds of years. Apparently, there are records of Babaji appearing to different people and in different places. So he's a magnificent. They call him Ma. I wanted to look up how you pronounce it. Mahavatar. He's an amazing avatar, overlighting, I think I would say, and with the stars, he's overlighting humanity, I think, at this time. So we're going to start the process with him. I just want to invite you, if you're in a place where you can, to close your eyes. And just breathing in love and light from the universe. And as you exhale, just releasing anything, any vibrational energy you sense in your field, that space of light around you or in your body, just allowing it to all drift down into the earth where it can be transformed back into light. So with every breath, we become lighter. Breathing that beautiful light all through the body. All of the cells of the body love light. And releasing as we exhale. And so now I wanted to invite Babaji to join us. And surrounding ourselves, what we can do when we connect with these beings of light is to sense their vibrational signature. So we can ask Babaji to join us, to be with us, and to infuse that vibrational signature, which is represented, I think, by this beautiful clear night sky filled with stars. Just surround yourself with his light and notice how it feels. And I do feel he's with us now because we're stepping up more and more consciously as creators and understanding within that, when we're connecting with love and light, which is oneness, how connected we are with our Creator, with God, and with all living beings, and all of the beings of light. So we can open to that energy of connectedness. Babaji is here to inspire that sense of connectedness, so we can understand. We were talking about our thoughts and actions. We can understand how we're creating those waves of energy that form our lives through these thoughts and feelings that we have. And it's not to say any of them are good or bad. What it is to say is that we have a choice. It's not good or bad. It's really more, is this helping me or is this holding me back? So we can continue with this breath, feeling that starry light and inviting the twinkles of stars, if you want, into the cells of your body, touching us in every cell with that energy of oneness and feeling what that's like. Feeling those stars, the twinkling stars in our minds, in our brains, in our brain cells. Allowing our minds to become clearer and bringing us more fully into this present moment in our bodies, which is ultimately the goal in life to me, is to be in the moment with the divine. We can always come back and be in our bodies and breathe. And notice how this feels. Just being in that place of clarity, allowing the stars to clear your mind and open really to your higher mind. And sensing that entire ball of light which is your energy field, filled with that starry, beautiful energy of Babaji. And sensing what he's here to share with you. And allowing that beautiful light to open our hearts even more to the divine, and open to the truth that we are also magnificent beings from the divine, that we can bring that energy of our own higher beingness down into our lives now. And that's really, again, with the new world and the Great Awakening, the goal is to fully bring spirit into form. So we're reaching up into the higher realms and bringing that energy down. And just feeling that. And I want to thank Babaji for being with us and invite him to stay with us as I invite in the next being I want to acknowledge, and that is Saint Germain, who came to me last year suggesting that I focus on the violet flame, which is his gift to humanity, and that is a transmuting light. We can surround ourselves now with the support of Saint Germain with this beautiful violet flame, or just, it could be, I like twinkling light better than the flame myself, just that beautiful violet light, which is the highest vibration of light that we can see with the human eye. Just invite that into your space and allow it to transmute any fear, any anxiety, confusion, anything of a lower vibration that you're ready to release now. Just allow it to transmute it into light. You can sit in this space. If you have something specific that you want to clear, you can sit in this beautiful violet flame energy and allow it to transmute. Its alchemy. It's turning lead into gold, or however you want to say it, that we're turning lower vibrational energies into higher vibrational energies. And what I notice for myself that's kind of bubbling up in my awareness now is when we do that, the thing that's left is love and joy, which surprised me about this energy at first, because when I imagine Saint Germain, the way I see him, he looks kind of serious, but actually it's a very, very joyful and light vibration. So grateful for him. So again, we can express gratitude to Saint Germain for being with us. And now we're going to invite in another being who, all of these beings are here, I think, as part of the Great Awakening, and are more available, more readily available and easier to perceive because they are here for this reason, to support us. And another one who is so amazing is Archangel Michael. And Archangel Michael is often represented with an electric blue energy. We already had the blue sky. We can come back to that a beautiful electric blue light, and ask him to surround us with that light, to connect with his vibrational signatures so we can perceive him through his vibration. And you may see him, an image of him too. And as I do this, he offers us something special. Let me see. I think the way I would describe it is a sacred staff. And Archangel Michael is known for offering us a sword so we can feel our power. And he's very valuable with the feminine energy. We want to connect with the divine feminine. We also need to connect with the divine masculine, that power that we have within ourselves. to be able to hold our ground and to be able to truly create the things that we want to create. Can make us feel grounded and powerful. And just feel that. And he's often associated with a sword. And I've had times when I felt he handed me a sword. Late last year, one time when he connected with me, or I connected with him, we connected with each other. He handed me a staff, and I didn't quite understand that. But what he said is that the staff is a higher frequency of the sword. And it's a time now when it's not that we need a sword, we need this staff, which is here to help us to ground that spiritual light fully into the earth. We just hold it and allow it to touch the ground and feel that beauty of the divine coming through us fully into our reality here and grounding it into the earth. So what we're doing also is we're grounding the vibration of our soul's highest light coming down, as I mentioned, that master within us to come down and touch us, our true greatness and uniqueness to come through us and then into the earth as our gift to humanity, to ground this higher vibrational frequency into our reality here now. I think that Archangel Michael also makes us feel very safe. I often enlist him when I'm driving long distances and just want to ask to have angels with me on my drive. And he said he's always here for me. And if we request for him to keep us safe, he always is supporting us in that way. And just feeling that magnificence of who you are as a spiritual being who is here on earth for a reason. We sometimes forget to honor ourselves for the gift we bring just by being here. Our greatest gift may be just being here and anchoring that frequency of our highest light onto the planet now. It makes a difference. What we're doing is we're helping to change the vibration of the planet so that it's supportive of the light rather than dragging us down out of the light. And from this space, just allow yourself to get that sense of who you truly are as a creator. And at this point, I want to thank Archangel Michael for being with us. And just for, I guess, the fun of it, another real favorite of mine to invite to join me and to lift my spirits is Archangel Raziel. And Raziel comes with a rainbow of light. I like to have, of course, sparkles of rainbow light. And he's like the magician of the archangels. So he's very magical. He also is like the spiritual guru of the archangels too. So he has depth of spirit and much to offer to each of us. He also is just so joyful. And whenever I invite him into my space, I just feel that joy. And a higher frequency of joy, I believe, is bliss. Just that feeling of vibrating energy in your body. And all of these beings of light are available to us in every moment, these and more. So I want to thank Raziel and all of the beings. And there are behind them, and along with them, we have our own You could say family of light. Our family of light is around us. We may recognize them and we may not. We may not fully recognize them. Probably we don't fully recognize them. We may not have even heard of some of them. But they're here, and I think there are countless beings around us now, especially when we're together, just all of these beautiful beings who are supporting each one of us. It's very, very beautiful. And the depth of the love is so, so deep. We can just sense. And of course, behind all of that is the love of the Creator, him or herself, him and herself, who also is always with us, whether we recognize it or not. So we have much to be grateful for in this moment. And when we step up as creators, there is much to be grateful for in every moment. Every moment can be divine. It's our choice, really. And when we experience those fears, anxiety, whatever it is, anger, frustration, we can invite in those beings of light who can support us there too. And we have other ways that we help to clear those repressive energies. It's one of those times when I don't feel like coming back, but I think it's time to come back. And it's not like we're leaving anything behind. We can bring all of this with us. So just breathing in more active energy, grounding yourself, feeling yourself grounded into the earth. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. It's almost
That was
like, what can you
beautiful.
say?
Right. That was beautiful. I didn't want to come back either. It was beautiful. You know, I was holding, I have this rose quartz point that I was holding. And when you were talking about Archangel Michael having the staff, I had actually been holding it kind of away from me, just felt natural to do so, down at my side, kind of away from me, like I would hold a sword. And right before you said you saw a staff, I actually started holding it like this, like I was
Wow.
holding a staff. This is very strange, but beautiful. So it's very meaningful for me.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was thinking about it earlier, doing the meditation, and how Archangel Michael, with the meditation, he suggested to that he wanted to provide us each with a staff, and I was asking him again about it, and he told me the same thing. He said that we've been here before, which we have, and he told me all the things I shared, and I wanted to go back and research, so now I have everything from my meditations written down. So I went all the way back to last year when he first brought in the staff, and he said the exact same thing then. I thought that was so interesting. It's kind of like, well, we've heard this before. But it is a very powerful thing to receive that staff, I think. A blessing.
Oh, Jen, I'm still like integrating. Today I was like, actually, I got tears of joy today. I was able to really feel each of the energies, you know, and I had an amazing experience, you know, with Babaji. I was able to fly with the stars and feel that expansion and feel like really expansive being, you know. I was like light, I was stars. Then with Saint Germain, he came with a cape and she moved the cape, and then I transformed in a lotus and at the flower, you know, and I like, and exactly I remember perfectly because you were saying alchemy, and I was having that transition, you know, transforming to a flower of the lotus, you know. I was like, oh my God. And then you invited Archangel Michael, and I have a very personal moment there with him, where he remembered me about my power with the sword, and I remember like the energy of past lives, being a warrior, a woman actually, and moving my sword, and receiving the light, and like protecting. And there were the moment where I got those tears because I felt the power and the connection, and like I honored myself from those moments in my like other lives. And then when Rachel came, I was immediately with unicorns and in like a candy land,
Right.
and jumping from cupcakes and clowns, and feeling the smell actually of
Wow.
candy, and seeing all the like light colors, you know, and feeling that sensation. So was an amazing way to really connect with each of the energies, you know. And I got so empowered, and I know that I was not only being able to feel them for myself, I actually felt how I was like in the middle of a like circle of energy of like many others. So it was an amazing experience, Jane. Thank you so much. And I hope
Oh,
I
you're
was
welcome.
able to like shine that light too. I was holding my selenite fire too, and I was invited to hold it. First, I started with it in my right hand, and then I changed it after convert like the transformation in a lotus flower. Then I changed it to my left hand, and was so beautiful. And I think I felt all the support of Babs that is here, and other people that are connected from you and Gretchen. So I think that I'm being really feeling that power, so that I can step really and be a good creator.
Right. And that's the thing. We're not alone. We're never alone. We have each other. We have these beings of light. And having each other also to validate our experiences with the beings of light, I think, is really wonderful, because we can share those experiences with each other. And actually, I think it's inspiring for everybody to do that. And I really feel Baba Ji is a very powerful force for this great awakening. So I highly recommend connecting with him. And I really love this picture of him. I feel it's wonderful. And when I talk to him, at least he has an Indian accent. And I find that so charming.
Lovely.
He's just beautiful, beautiful being. Well, sometimes I'm not sure if I'm hearing the voice of another being, but with his, for me at least, with that Indian accent, it's very easy to tell.
I love this.
Yeah, Gretchen, anything else from you?
Yeah, I was just going to say with Baba Ji, I also experienced lotuses. Actually, I felt like he was giving me lotus flowers, like he was putting his hand over the palm of my hand, and I would see a lotus flower kind of appear and glow. So to me, it felt like a gift. So it's interesting that Loola and I both had that imagery of a lotus. Which is very magical to me. And lotus is an interesting symbol because lotuses have to grow out of mud. They grow out of like that mud and muck that's at the bottom of swamps and ponds and places like that. And here out of this muck and nastiness where all this decomposition is taking place is this beautiful flower that comes out of that. And it's actually essential for its growth. So it's such a good metaphor for life and for our life path, just to remember that out of all that muck and nasty decomposing stuff comes this beautiful flower.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That is beautiful. So we are really at the end of our time. I want to just take a moment or two to invite you. Gretchen, would you like to tell people how they can find out more about you and what
Yes,
you're
thank
doing?
you. Thank you, Jane. Yes, people can find me at spiraljourney.net. That's my website. It has a comprehensive list of all of my services. It also has a page of free things that you can look at or download. And they can find me at Spiral Journey Holistic Life Services on Facebook, as well as I'm Spiral Journey Gretchen on Instagram. And I'll have Loola talk about, she and I are doing something on Wednesdays, but I'll have her talk about
Oh,
that. So yeah,
wonderful.
thank you. Yeah, thank you so
Yeah,
much. I'd love people to stop by and connect with them.
wonderful. Thank you. So Lula, why
Thank
don't
you,
you continue?
Gretchen. Yeah, thank you for sending me that ball of light. Thank you. I receive it with open heart. Okay, so first, people can connect with me through my webpage too, Loola with two O's, Loola Mora.com. Social media, actually, yeah, Facebook Loola Mora too, and Instagram the same. For those ones that want to practice some Spanish or are Spanish speakers, I have a YouTube channel with holistic tools, some yoga practices, meditations, and tips for wellness. And I appear like Loola Mora with two O's too. Wellness and transformation, but in Spanish, like bienestar y transformación. And now that Gretchen mentioned it, we are gathering each Wednesday, so it's weekly on Instagram Live for our Wisdom Wednesdays, and it's
Like that.
beautiful because we actually connect with people and we allow people like to get some cards pulled from oracles. So that's like the main like tool that we are using, but we are like talking about some topics that come from the cards, or actually some like inquiries that we have, and we want like to share some of the information and to like receive some guidance from the oracles. And it's beautiful because people like ask to get a reading, but of course we are all together, so things that we receive are like fitting for more of the person that asked. And yeah, has been an amazing experience. Actually, I am enjoying it a lot. We started in October, so next week is gonna be the fourth time, right, Gretchen? It's already
Yes.
like the fourth time that we are doing it. And yeah, you can like join us when we are live. I'm being the host right now, so the way to receive the notification is following me. So you get the notification that we are going live, and it's easy to connect, you know, it's only clicking there. So I invite all of you to join us when it's possible for you.
Wonderful. Thank you. And for Awakenings Institute, we have a free resource kit for light workers, spiritual healers, and wayshowers. And there are different things in there, some written materials, I think some videos, different things, which you can access at tinyurl.com/spiritual-kit. We use tiny URLs because our website is big and the the URLs are long, but the website is gettingthrough.org, which is gettingthrough.org, and the main page is /gettingthrough.org/holistic. There's also /spiritual. To find out about Awakenings Institute, it's /awakening. So there are lots of options there too. I also wanted to mention our book, The Solution, Make a Difference and Change the World Through the Power of Love, which we wrote as a free offering. We'd like as many people to read it as possible, and share it with people who may not read it otherwise, because that's the idea, is to get to help more people to understand the power of love. So that's tinyurl.com/444, that's the number 4 3 times -solution. So it's tinyurl.com/444-solution. And to support the circle, you can like our page, share this video with your friends, and invite your friends to join you in the circle. This is something that has real value for people. With the last thing being sending that love and light out to the week ahead. Just imagining the week ahead in front of you and fill it with love and light for yourself and those around you. And have a wonderful week. So thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.